Ooh, what's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 117 of the Stand Up Guys podcast. I'm your host, the incomparable Zach Jones, and I'm joined, as always, by my brother from the same mother, Lester Jones.
Hello, everybody.
And, of course, it wouldn't be our show if we weren't also joined by the ninth wonder, Chocolate Thunder, delivering DoorDash and getting tipped with DoorGash. The wine and dining, 69 in. He'll throw in extra butter for a taste of that turd cutter. The phenomenal A.J. Singh.
I'm okay with money instead of DoorGash.
All right, guys. What have you guys been up to this week? What have you been doing? What have you been watching? Give me something interesting.
I watched Midnight Club. It was a new show on Netflix. I think it's based on like a Christopher Pike book. My sister said she read, I think, when she was younger. And she was really excited about this show, so we watched it together. And it's been good so far. It's kind of like a sad premise, though. Like, it's about a bunch of teenagers who are in a hospice. But there's like creepy stuff going on around in that hospice, and at midnight they all get together and tell scary stories. And
it's like we're dying, but at least there's something spooky going on.
Yeah, it's not creepy.
There's enough. A killer coming to kill.
Not dying soon enough, apparently.
Not only are you dying, it's a horrific death.
Yeah.
Now, is Chris Pike like a pseudonym based on like the Star Trek character?
Oh, I don't know. I've never heard of that. No.
Was he like a R.L. Stine type of author or something?
Yeah, I think he was more adult though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've read one of his books. I think they're kind of interesting. They're meant for like young adults, I think, but also adults can read it.
The horror story is just like the horror of dying for reasons you have no control over.
Yeah, that's pretty terrible. I mean, it is kind of like a bummer, that whole premise and everything, but I mean, you get used to it, and there's still like a lot of fun watching the story come together.
Anything else?
I think that's it for me.
What about you?
I played Last of Us 2. I haven't been playing it.
I've seen you play a little bit of it, but like, are you liking it so far?
Yeah, it's pretty good. The gameplay is a little close for what I like. I like sneaking and hiding in bushes and shooting people from a mile away, but yeah, it's a little more intense.
You got to get good. No.
Yeah. I usually just die like 10 times.
Some stealth games like are too hard. Like it's some games where the stealth is so touchy that you always get spotted. I'm like, okay, they could have made this better.
Yeah. Yeah, the AI in this one's pretty smart for the people at least, because yeah, you'll kill a couple people and they'll be like, "Hey George." And yeah, then you're fucked. You're like, oh, I'm fucked now. I better get my guns out. It's time to get fucked.
Maybe we should look in this tall grass. No.
It's not like the movies where like you kill off half the people and
right.
Just nonchalant.
Yeah, people just disappear. There's like one guy wandering around left by himself. He's like, I haven't seen anything yet.
I like that classic, like you can be, as long as you're in the tall grass, you can be right by a guy and he won't notice.
Yeah.
That's the kind of gameplay I like. You watch anything?
I probably have.
Oh, you were watching that tattoo show.
Yeah, I watched I think pretty much all but the finale of that. I already forget what it's called. It's the main tattoo one.
The Ink Master.
The Ink Masters, that's it. It's been pretty good. They had a really good talent this season.
Does it make you want to get more tattoos?
Yeah, but it also makes me be like, good tattoos are expensive.
Well, you just got to volunteer to be one of the guinea pigs on that show.
Yeah. Just come in there with something retarded. Be like, this guy wants something retarded. Let's send him in.
Yeah, I feel like tattoos are so hit and miss because like you got to find that one artist who's actually really good at it.
Yeah, shopping around for good artists is a big point.
God, that means like 80 to 90% of the artists out there are just like, meh.
Yeah. Yeah, if you want something generic, probably a lot of them can bang something out. But if you want the real good stuff, the top shelf, you got to look around.
Man, I didn't watch a ton of stuff this week either. Marvel did put out a few trailers. I don't know if you saw any of these, AJ.
Ooh, trailers.
So there's a. I actually thought this was coming next year, but it's coming this year. The Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special.
Yeah.
Like November 25th, I think.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of the Star Wars holiday special, which was awful, but
Well, I thought they might actually do like more of a take on that, but now like seeing this trailer, like I don't think they are.
right. Yeah.
Is it like one piece, or is it like 6 episodes, like Hawkeye?
No, it's kind of like the Werewolf by Night. It's just a one and done.
one-off.
Yeah.
I expect something cutesy, I guess. Like a little Christmas thing.
Yeah, I kind of agree. Yeah, I think it'll be like a lighthearted romp.
Hopefully it doesn't suck.
You always have to add that. Well, hopefully this doesn't suck. Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. There's
I
also
saw
a
that.
trailer for that.
Suck.
Actually, that's the only thing that excites me right now, Kang, because like everything else right now that's this phase has been kind of meh, and I'm hoping he like ties everything together.
Well, they are going to use him in several things, and he's going to be like, it's seemingly the big bad of one of those Avengers movies they got coming up. And I would assume they're probably going to use him in Loki season 2 as well, since he was in the first season.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess we're gonna see a whole lot of Kang in this phase.
Whole lot of Kang.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah. I mean, the trailer looked decent. I mean, the Ant-Man like movies aren't my favorite part of the MCU.
Right, yeah.
Like the first one I thought was good. The second one was fine, but a bit bland. But like neither of them are like knock your socks off type
Yeah.
of movies. They're just fine.
I think they're trying to make Ant-Man relevant by putting the big baddie like in his film right now, like at the beginning, like
This might help sell tickets
Yeah.
to an Ant-Man movie.
yeah, I think they're trying to like lift up that franchise. Otherwise, I don't see the point of putting Kang with Ant-Man. Like he's just so underwhelming of a hero.
It does seem like a weird combo.
Yeah,
But also the thing I thought was weird. Okay, so this quantum realm, isn't it basically like they go down all small? Like to me, it would be like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids type of thing. But it's almost like they go down this quantum realm, and it's like this whole other like universe basically. But to me, it's like it would be so big that it like the chances of like Michelle Pfeiffer like stumbling upon like the people she apparently met down there the first time would be like a small chance, but
yeah. It's like one guy running the quantum realm, I guess.
yeah.
He's like, whoa, somebody entered it.
Yeah, it just seems like if it's like this microscopic like area or what, like it would just go on forever seemingly, like like our space.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of what I expected it to be, like another infinitely, small but huge at the same time.
Right.
Place. Yeah. They show in the trailer, and we'll get into it, but like where Hope, like as soon as they're sending a signal to the realm, like she's like, turn it off, like as if, there's somebody who's like in the realm just always monitoring.
Right.
It did seem kind of strange to me. I don't know.
Yeah, but like their whole family just like gets sucked in there.
Yeah, immediately. Yeah. That guy was there waiting for them.
You're right. Yeah, like I guess we'll have to wait and see the movie, but it does seem like they turn this on and immediately they're sucked in there. I think that movie comes out in February, so getting quite a few Marvel movies coming up. I don't have much to say. I mean, each week I've been watching the newest episode of Andor. It continues to be good. I haven't had an episode yet that I didn't like, so definitely check that out. Now it is the holiday season, so I decided to watch a spooky movie. And I wanted to watch one that I hadn't watched yet, and I gotta say, pretty terrifying. I watched the Don Knotts classic, The Ghost and Mr. Chicken. You guys ever watch this bad boy?
Doesn't sound very horrifying.
It's basically like a horror comedy, I guess.
Right.
Yeah, it's probably nothing I would ever watch again, but like it was fine. Like they did have this one bit that was actually kind of funny. where like his character's name is Luther, and like in many scenes, there's just like this off-camera guy that goes, "Attaboy, Luther," and they just like keep going back to that and using it like over and over again, and like a couple times, and you're like, "This seems like a dumb joke," but then they use it enough to where it becomes ridiculous, and you're like, "Okay, you won me back." Oh, and then I was just gonna say, I guess this would count as like a very slight spoiler for Black Adam that I don't think anyone would give a shit about. But you remember, like I was talking about, like who is that like blonde lady in the underwater facility? It turns out you were right. It was that James Gunn's like girlfriend, that character from the Suicide Squad.
Right.
Like I didn't recognize her right away, but yeah, apparently that is her. So you were right. Yeah. But still, like. That makes me like question like when did Black Adam take place? Because like, would it make sense for her character to be working there like after the events of Peacemaker?
I don't remember how she ended off Peacemaker. Like if she was disgruntled or if she was like happy with the team or what.
I was thinking she was like happy with the team, but I don't know. Too much. You consume so much stuff that it's like. I remember I liked Peacemaker, but now I'm like, I don't remember. You know, you forget things.
I'll need that season 1 recap.
Yeah. That is helpful when you start a new season and they're like, last time on blah, blah, blah. You do kind of need that these days.
For sure. Especially even with weekly shows now. Like,
yeah.
You can forget everything.
Do you guys got any other things you want to talk about before we get into story time?
No.
All right, it's story time, bitches. So anyone who hasn't watched or listened, we're going to go around the table. Everybody's going to bring a wacky news story from around the globe, and we'll just see if we can't make something funny and or entertaining out of it. And as tradition dictates, AJ, we usually start with you. So what do you got for us?
All right. Woman reaches top 0.4% of OnlyFans after allowing followers to make every decision in her life. Seems like a smart choice to do. A woman has reached the top 0.4% OnlyFans after handing over control of her life to her subscribers. Student Lori from France joined the site a few weeks ago, like many before her, but rather than just post saucy pics and videos, she decided to deploy a concept never seen before on this platform. I let the fans control my whole life, the 23-year-old said on Mad Bible. Every decision of my life, important or not, they will have control. It's certainly an interesting, albeit terrifying idea, and unsurprisingly, she has made some pretty radical decisions since handing over the keys to her life, such as leaving her partner and quitting her internship. How exactly does it work? The Parisian, aka Live with Lori, has been posting polls on Telegram, which anyone can vote on freely before posting the results on her OnlyFans page. The polls could cover anything from what she could have for lunch to whether she should gamble all her earnings at the casino. Subscribers also suggest poll ideas. Of course,
I'm sure they do.
Of course, while this is undeniably an intriguing social experiment, there is good reason why we're taught not to trust strangers. So Lori has a few guidelines in place. Lori does have a few rules. I will not accept a poll which would put me in danger, could harm someone, or be hateful. I have no regrets. I don't know yet where this experience will lead. I'll leave it up to the fans to choose the next polls. I'm excited to see where it all goes. The poll online right now is whether I should give $100 to a fan. Well, I'm pretty sure that the way in which that poll is going to go. Lori's subscribers also are able to message her directly and said this was a big motivation behind the concept, a mutual sharing of lives. I know it's hard to really create meaningful relationships through social media, she said. I do my best to communicate my energy and positivity through my posts, and even though it's not possible to change how social media works, I try to create my own scale and OnlyFans account where people really matter. I don't know what that sentence means. I'm not trying to change the world. I'm not even trying to fight a social battle. I'm just trying to create a small community of willing people to share their lives with me and talk with me. She added, I understand that some people can't understand that, and I don't want to try to convince them. What really matters to me is that the subscribers on my account are happy.
Now, she made it to like the, top like whatever percent. of OnlyFans, does she do nudity? It seems like these guys would just be like, oh, if they control their life, they'd just be like, yeah, be naked 24/7 in front of the camera, you know?
I mean, I would think so. It's OnlyFans. She's got to do nudity. I think this is just on top of that because she's pretty. So
Yeah, it doesn't mention that, but you got to figure if she's making that much money on OnlyFans, she's got to be doing nudity, right?
yeah, for sure. If you're in the top 0.4%, I'm sure everything else is just a topping on top of the nudity.
Yeah, it doesn't mention that, but it's got to be, right?
Yeah.
You know what this kind of reminds me of is, you guys remember that Jim Carrey movie, Yes Man?
Oh,
Where he's
right.
just like, oh, I'm going to say yes to everything.
Yeah.
It'd be funny, though, if, like, right out of the gate, like, a homeless man came up to him and was like, you want to have sex in this alleyway? He's like,
Begrudging, yes.
I said I'd do it.
Imagine if a homeless guy, like, he's the guy behind that class. He's like, everybody say yes.
Oh, yeah, right.
And now I'll just start asking you stuff. All right. Well, I mean, that's how you get to the top 0.4%, guys.
Is there anything you would like us to do for your subscription?
Yeah, let's employ this. How do we get to the top of the podcasting / YouTube charts? We let everybody watching make decisions in our lives.
There's going to be like one person who writes something.
Our number one fan.
You mean our one fan?
Still number one.
Podcast every day.
Now kiss.
Yeah, no.
Well,
First, there are going to be some rules.
There's gonna be definitely some rules.
it basically equate to we won't do anything.
Yeah. There's like two choices that you have.
Well, let's roll on to Manifesto Round 1.
Well, the kids have my phone, so basically I have taglines of articles
So
that I can barely read.
So you're actually back to the handwritten manifesto that you had in the old days.
Oh, yeah. Those were good times.
I mean, that's where the term came from, because you did have like this
Chicken scratch.
Yeah.
Okay, here's a short one. Woman is stuck in the bathtub for 30 minutes after taking a bath in coconut oil.
She couldn't get out. She was
She was just slipping and sliding. Like there's no friction. There's no.
It seemed like she could still get out.
Apparently not.
Or is it like she buried herself in so much of it that she was just like stuck in it and like.
No, it sounded like she took the bath in it, so the whole tub is coated in it. She's coated in it. It's oil fiasco.
I feel like there's ways out. You could roll out, sort of like.
Well, it sounded like she
I
was
wonder
just
what
like.
it Well, it depends on her tub too, I guess.
Maybe she had like have one of those like big Victorian tubs, deep ones, and she's like an old feeble woman.
Right.
I can't imagine like a. You
Sounded
know,
like she was an overweight woman.
okay, that could have contributed.
Probably shouldn't tip that thing over.
But you would think you would think the lubrication would help her get out, if anything.
You just gotta start rocking back and forth.
How defeated would that be, though, to have like emergency responders come to get you out of your bathtub? That'd
Because
be
you're overly lubed up.
yeah.
It's not even a good reason. Like,
Well, eventually, like she, like I guess, turned on the water and just like you started like slowly getting the oil off until she could get enough traction.
I mean, you would need to do that for a long time.
What was the idea behind it, though? Like,
It was some like health thing. It's like, oh, take a
this cocoa butter's gonna make my skin just like the best.
right. It's gonna help your woes.
I mean, I've heard of putting cocoa butter on your skin, but getting in the tub to like lather it everywhere, I don't think you need to do all that.
Like, I don't really like most perfumes, but I like it to smell when somebody's like all cocoa buttered up. Like
Coconut, like coconut lotion, smells really good.
yeah.
Yeah, I would prefer that to perfume for sure.
Yeah.
She was seasoning herself.
There are a couple of perfumes that don't bother me, but a lot of them, like, I don't know, I just don't like them. The vanilla ones, I think, are pretty good.
A lot of them smell the same to me.
Yeah. Probably are the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. Guys aren't as discerning smell-wise as women think. I don't think.
Man, people used to really smell like shit in the past. Like, if you look at all the trouble they went through to try to cover that up.
Yeah, I'm sure there was a time period where like you would have appreciated perfume. Like, oh yeah, at least it's better than shit and sweat.
Yeah, but if you mix it in with piss and shit and sweat, like, it's still going to smell bad.
But better.
You think there's something that's like complimentary just like reeking of sweat? Like I don't like it by itself, but together these two is a good combination.
We need to find that. Goddamn, at work, like, I don't know who it is, but like at least once a day, like I'll go in to take a piss in the bathroom at work, and it'll just like the body or odor of this guy. Like I'm like, how did he get here? Because it's not even sweat, man.
And you haven't even happened to walk past his cubicle or something.
No, I don't think he can even be working on my side of the building.
They've got him in like a hidey hole.
I think he's got to be on the other side of the building, and like his coworkers are just like too nice to tell him, because this motherfucker has to stink bad.
He just walks by you when you get like a huge whiff?
No, it's always in the bathroom. Like I go in the bathroom, and the bathroom just reeks of it. It just lingers in there. And so, like, yeah, I don't know who it is, but it's bad.
I'll bet anything. It's either IT or it's like a mentally handicapped like janitor or something.
There is an older guy janitor. I wonder if it could be him.
There are people out there just got to reek. Man, my building's got a lot of bathrooms. So every once in a while, I'll walk in and it just like punch you in the face, and I just like turn around and leave. Like, no, I'll find another one.
Well, speaking of aromas, this story is sure to whet your guys' appetite. Vagina-flavored crisps are now on sale.
I think this one's fake news. Is it Chaz?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had this story before.
Damn it, is it fake?
It's sadly fake.
It's gotta be fake. Nobody's eating that, man. Unless you're a virgin.
Man, I really wanted this story to be true. Although, like the fake story said that they're only sold like in Europe. I guess that is a way to like make people not be able to call bullshit on the story as quickly.
Plus, like, we have this image of Europeans like eating weird food sometimes. Like
The thing is, I think it was like a real company, and it was like a fake promotion.
Oh, so the company's real, but
Yeah, I think that was the case.
damn it, these damn fake news stories.
They got our attention, though.
Okay, I got a different one. Let's see if you can put the kibosh on this one. Young man develops bizarre allergy to his own orgasms.
All right, how much has he been orgasming to where he's developing allergies?
Developing an allergy to anything later in life is a terrible experience. You might become unable to eat your favorite food or do the activities you most enjoy.
No vagina chips for me.
But this particular young man really got dealt the worst possible hand in the game of life. He developed a rare, bizarre allergy-like condition to his own orgasms. For years, the 27-year-old has been experiencing weird flu-like symptoms whenever he, finished. They would last for up to several days, making every orgasm a thoroughly unpleasant experience. His condition left the man unable and unwilling to engage in any kind of romantic or sexual activity or relationship. He didn't seem to have any other option, with doctors seemingly unable to cure his strange illness. Fortunately, this story has a happy ending, get it? After seeking help one last time, the man's condition was miraculously cured, and it's all thanks to simple over-the-counter allergy medicine. The young man's strange condition was described in a case study published in the journal Urology Case Reports. According to the report, his symptoms began sometime around the age of 18. After an orgasm, he would quickly break into flu-like symptoms. He would begin coughing and sneezing and get a runny nose, much like with a pollen allergy. In addition, he'd get a rash on his forearms and his lymph nodes would swell up. Yep, that sounds like allergies to us. The symptoms could appear within minutes or take several hours to show up, and when they did, they could last up to a week, making the young man's life absolutely miserable. It didn't matter whether he had sex with somebody else or rocked his own socks. In either case, he'd come down with his allergy. Because of the distressing nature of his symptoms, he actively avoided any sexual activity or romantic relationships, the report said. Over the years, the young man had consulted several doctors and allergy specialists. However, they all proved unable to help him. One allergist thought that he had simple hay fever. Unsurprisingly, the medication he got from that doctor did absolutely nothing. Having dealt with this problem for nearly 10 years, he finally got to the doctors who wrote the report. Lo and behold, they actually figured out what ailed the young man. The doctors determined that the man suffers from post-orgasmic illness syndrome, or POIS. It's no wonder that previous doctors hadn't figured that out. POIS is an exceedingly rare condition. Within the last 20 years, only 60 cases of POIS have been described. Prior to that, the condition is unknown. POIS affects almost exclusively men, and its symptoms match the young man's illness to a T. So the doctors now knew what was wrong with the young man, which was good. But they also had some bad news for him. Current medical science doesn't know what causes POIS. Consequently, there's no cure for it, and doctors treat it using a fairly strict, let's see if it works methodology. And that's just what the doctors did for the young man as well. They prescribed him an antihistamine, which has proven effective against similar symptoms for other allergies. That didn't work, however. Perhaps the young man had expected that and was ready to resign to his sexless fate. But then the doctors talked to him into trying something else. They switched his medication to over-the-counter fexofenadine, popularly known as Allegra. And what do you know? It worked. The treatment that proved most effective was daily fexofenadine, leading to a 90% symptom improvement, the case report reads. Thanks to the medicine, the young man has been able to resume normal sexual activity, and he doesn't have to break the bank for it, since all he needs to do is take a regular allergy medicine before getting down and dirty. Imagine having that conversation, though. Hold on, babe, I have to take my pill first. No, it's nothing contagious. I'm just allergic to my own orgasms. Now, if you guys had this condition and there was no cure, would you still jack off, or would you be like this guy and be like, it's not worth it?
I'd probably jack off less.
I mean, anytime you have like a negative feedback, you're probably gonna like stop. But it said it could last for like a week, so like probably like by the time like his symptoms are easing up, like his fucking nuts are ready to blow.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you could just jerk off all the time and just be sick all the time.
And he might as well like do like a camel, jerk off for like a week straight, and then try to like survive for a little while off of that.
That's true. Like when he finally like comes off the wagon or whatever, he just like makes a week of it, and he's just like, I'm gonna jerk off 90 times a day.
Just calling in sick.
Sounds like me in high school. The numbers I was putting up, I could be historic, man. I'm a legend in the game.
I was calling in sick just to jerk off.
God forbid there be a test the night before. I'd procrastinate like crazy.
Well, AJ, I guess it's time for story number 2 already.
All right, let's see what we got here. All right, I got one gruesome one, so I think I'll go with that. Here it is. People have been left horrified after a woman explained how the back of her head exploded mid-flight due to air pressure. TikToker Veronica initially uploaded a video yesterday, October 20th, showing her with a brace around her head and bruising across her face. Across the footage, she wrote, "POV, you're a flight attendant that has just had to inform the back of my head exploded from the pressure." She added that she's still not over how gross it was. Now, before you go canceling your travel plans, let it be known that Veronica had undergone surgery before the flight and unfortunately had some stitches burst open on the plane. While revealing parts of the story, it didn't take long for people to start making assumptions, with some pointing to the blame at the doctor who granted her as being fit to fly. The back of Veronica's head quite literally popped open. However, Veronica has made it clear that no one is at fault, writing, "No one made any mistake, the original surgeon or the airport doctor at the hospital. Everything was fine when I got on the plane. I have unusually soft tissue and swell more than the average person, which led to some of the stitches coming open on the plane in one tiny area. But this information appears to have gone straight over people's heads, and so the TikToker has decided to set the record straight in a series of explainers. In the first clip, she reiterated that no one was to blame before stating that before her flight, she had a final consultation with the surgeon who had previously carried out her BBL. She hadn't realized the meeting, which was a follow-up from cat eye surgery, was set up to be so long. When she turned up, she was also in a rush. Although she was happy with how she was recovering and mentioned she was going to give her fit a fly certificate. Okay, I guess she was dressed nice. She forgot amongst the rush, and so it had to be dealt with by the airport doctor. The TikToker has given unwanted comments about the incident. She was given the go-ahead, and funnily enough, her surgeon had also sent her one via WhatsApp, although she didn't have connection at the time. I don't know what this is saying. I might be high right now. Let me see. And now, when this is when the story gets grisly. We were on the plane. Everything's chill. We'd gone to sleep before we'd been traveling since 2 a.m. Because we've been traveling since 2 a.m. And I woke up and I'm in a lot of pain. I can feel pain all around here, around my ear. My actual ear was in pain, as well as I was like, how is that possible? I cannot even feel my ears yet. Veronica continued, everything was really hurting. I got up, I went to the toilet and heard this audible pop. She was understandably shocked, realizing that the incision behind her ears had split open. In fourth and final part of the story time, she explained, immediately after I felt this hot liquid dripping down my neck and grabbed some towels and started wiping it up. Obviously it was blood. I didn't know. I don't know if anyone's had lipo. The fluid that comes out of you is like yellowy with blood and bits. In other words, it's not what you want flowing out of you when you're 30,000 feet in the air. And she looks okay. I'm surprised she's getting all this work. The TikToker assumes that the reason it happened is because she had a drain in the exact area that popped open, and this is where most fluid would accumulate. It would have swelled up on the plane, and this is combined with the air pressure. Well, you know the story. Unfortunately, Veronica had no choice but to keep pressure on the wound until the plane landed, and it looks like everything's been sorted since touchdown. I guess the silver lining in this case is she's probably the only person who can say that they survived their head exploding mid-flight. Man, that's nasty as hell. If I was near this person, I'd be like, ew, get them away from me. I would not want to sit next to them for the rest of the flight.
It is pretty crazy. But
it sounds like pus was coming out of her head, like yellow and bits. Ugh.
So did she say this was like from liposuction or something?
From some sort of surgery she had. She's had a few surgeries. She's had lipo. She's had BBL. She's had something else.
What's BBL?
A Brazilian butt lift.
Oh. Yeah, she probably had like facelift. They said something about the eyes.
Yeah, she got bruising around her eyes.
So
she looked like she got her ass whooped.
She has less weight in her head.
Like all this she already was pretty. I don't understand. Like that's nuts.
Some people get obsessed with cosmetic surgery, man.
Yeah,
and it almost always ends with them getting too much of it and looking like a maniac.
Yeah.
Like so many women overdid the collagen in the lips. And it just looks awful.
That was like after Angelina Jolie, and she was really popular.
Yeah,
people saw that. Renee Zellweger, she used to do this thing too. She'd puff them out.
But yeah, it's a grisly story for sure.
Yeah, it's always pretty girls too who are always getting like unnecessary surgery. They're too critical on themselves. Yeah.
Well, manifesto round 2.
A trans activist has purchased the Miss Universe pageant. So probably next year there's going to be some swinging going on in the competition.
Dang, I didn't know anybody trans had that kind of money. Like, I thought Donald Trump owned it or something.
He owned one of them for sure.
Maybe they sold it. I don't remember. Yeah, it might have been Miss
Or
America.
Miss Teen.
Yeah, he owns that, that's for sure.
Toddlers for tiaras.
I mean, they're all like, just the idea of beauty pageants are disgusting. Like, whether they have trans people in them or not, like, they should get rid of them. I mean,
Yeah, it's pretty shallow, and it places society's importance on stupid things,
but I mean, like, even if a trans person gets, like, they can't just like say, oh, we're gonna have this many trans people. Like, they have to win like other competitions to get in there or whatever, don't they?
I don't know.
I don't know how you qualify.
We'll see how it goes.
I mean, I don't even know where you go to watch those things. Like, do they still put them on TV? Like, who gives a shit?
I think you gotta have a cable subscription to watch this stuff.
I'm sure, yeah, they probably broadcast somewhere.
I guess.
I mean, a lot of that cable stuff is just, it's bad right now. Like, cable news, all that, they're losing so much viewership because people are cutting the cord. So they're targeting, like, the people that are left. And the people that are left are, like, old people. So...
I like my women with dicks.
Hey, they've served in Vietnam. They've met chicks with dicks.
You know what's also like a joke is like a lot of those competitions have like morality clauses. So like there's a lot of women that have been stripped of their title because like maybe they got into porn or did some sort of saucy like modeling or you know something, maybe OnlyFans type stuff. So yeah, like a lot of women have like had their crowns taken away or whatever, like their titles or whatever because of quote unquote morality clauses.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like the competition is about how good you look.
I know.
And,
so of course those people are gonna
they're gonna fuck.
get into things like that. Yeah, it's so ridiculous, those competitions.
Well, we're speaking of shallowness. I got another short blurb.
Okay.
Since online classes have become a big thing with COVID, beautiful women are doing not as well in school. Shocker.
Is that a real thing? Or
Yeah.
I can see that. Yeah.
They do better in person.
You telling me a professor just looks at them and says, "All right, 20 more points for this person."
Apparently, yeah.
Messed up.
Yeah, ugly women don't do it as well.
I've heard that with looks, like if a guy is not attractive, women don't even notice him.
Yeah.
And if a woman is unattractive, guys get visibly annoyed.
I'm annoyed being in your presence.
That's wild, man.
Did you guys ever have high school teachers that you could tell like were kind of like ogling the attractive girls in class and shit?
Man, I heard teachers say something about a student once. I was like, this is not right.
Yeah, the coaches always seem kind of weird to me.
I had one teacher like that, and I even heard like one of the girls saying that like they would like flirt with him a little bit to try to get like better grades and shit.
Oh no.
Yeah, you don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
But it happens, I'm sure, all the time.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah.
I definitely had teachers I think just didn't like me. and I think it was just because I'm pretty milquetoast. This milquetoast bastard.
He's so boring.
And ugly.
Pissing me off.
I'm so annoyed.
He didn't laugh at my joke.
There was probably some of that.
Yeah.
He's just sitting there with a stone face, and he's like, D-.
Well, AJ, you had a grisly story. I have a pretty bleak one here, too. Missing grandmother found inside a huge python.
Oh, I think I've heard of this.
She just wanted to go out for a walk. A missing grandma vanished just after a walk. Jara, 54, went for a walk to collect rubber in a forest near her family home in Jambi, Indonesia.
Collecting rubber.
That's what it says. Concerned relatives reported her missing when she didn't return from the jungle. Search parties organized by locals began searching through the dense woods in the Tanjung Jabang Bara Regency. I'm sure I pronounced that perfectly. Soon after, residents and police stumbled upon this 7-meter-long python with the grandma inside its swollen tummy. The mammoth python was spotted with the bulge in its belly in a clearing among the trees while hunting for Jara last Sunday. 2 days after her disappearance. The snake's stomach was sliced open and their worst fears were confirmed. The 54-year-old missing grandma had been swallowed whole by the python. Footage shows the grand's remains as they rotted inside the snake's digestive tract. The video also shows her freaked out friends as the giant snake is cornered and its stomach cut open. They found the grand curled up inside the bloated snake before both the snake and her were covered in a blue tarp sheet.
What if it was just like a pig in there and they're like, oh, sorry, snake. Good job.
Her body was largely intact, as were the clothes she was wearing, despite being eaten up by the slippery snake. Anto, the head of the Turjung Gaja village where Jara lived, said the python was thought to have bitten the gram and with its fearsome fangs. The snake would have suffocated her by wrapping itself around until she stopped breathing. The ordeal would have lasted about 2 hours, and in the end, the missing grandma was swallowed up. Anto said the victim did not come home after saying goodbye to her family to go to the garden collecting rubber from the trees on Friday. Her family then reported her missing to the local authorities, and a search has been carried out since then. Residents killed the snake and dissected its stomach contents. Everyone was astonished. It turned out that the woman we were looking for was in the snake's stomach. It would have taken the python weeks to fully digest the grandma's remains. The incident sparked panic within the village, and there have been a lot of python sightings in recent weeks. Earlier, residents tried to catch a 9-meter snake, but they failed as the snake was just enormous. Anto said villagers are now worried that bigger snakes are still in the forest. This giant snake has also swallowed 2 residents' goats. Indonesia is known for the large population of reticulated pythons, similar to the one that took down the 50-year-old missing grandma. They otherwise live in remote forests and feed on wild animals and occasionally humans. They are known as one of the world's largest and heaviest reptiles. So the moral of this story is don't go to Indonesia.
Yeah, man. I think it was Indonesia or the Philippines, one of those islands out there, where they have those kinds of snakes, but there's like tribal people who are like smaller than the average human, and they're probably like 4 feet tall or something like that, and they really had trouble with these snakes because they were on the list to be eaten by these snakes.
I would never go anywhere alone. I'd be like, there's a buddy system in effect now.
Yeah, that is just horrifying, man. A giant snake that can eat you, like. I think I'm safe because I'm like huge. Snakes would look at me and be like, I'll burst. But I mean, to be that small and to be on the menu, like, that's horrifying, man.
It's crazy that they can survive swallowing something that big, though.
Yeah.
And just like, oh, okay, I'm going to be here for 2 weeks while this thing digests.
Yeah, I mean, they can go, like, I think a year without eating after that sort of thing.
Jesus.
Yeah, you imagine like the whole body just rotting in there. All this bacteria doing all this shit in there.
And clothes. There's clothes in there.
Yeah. Yeah, who knows what comes out. Yeah. Part of me, I don't know if I like fully appreciate like the retribution stash. Like, let's kill this snake. But I mean, I guess I kind of do. But at the same time, I'm like, yeah, nature's took its course. It's already done. It happened.
No. Kill the snakes. Kill all the snakes. I am Snake Hitler on this issue.
I don't know. I was kind of on Lester's side. Like, I was like, well, she's already eaten. Like,
yeah.
You're not getting her back.
You're not going to get anything out of this. Yeah. Just take him and dump him in the Everglades.
I mean, her family might want the remains for like the funeral. I guess they could just like kill the snake, but don't rip him open and just put the whole snake's body in the coffin.
She's beautiful.
If I was a family, I'd be like making like snakeskin boots.
Yeah, I guess so. Might as well not waste that now.
It is crazy though that I mean, if they can eat her, they could probably eat you.
Yeah.
If they really tried.
Yeah. Come say your goodbyes. Here's your wallet.
Everybody gets a wallet.
Yeah.
Thanks, Graham. Every time I pay for something, I'll think of you.
What a terrible way to die too, when like the fucking snake's crushing your bones and you're just like, I'm gonna die now.
Well,
Yeah.
she must have been like it must have fallen on her or something, like for it to catch her in the first place. Like,
They'll hide in trees and stuff, so yeah, it could have.
yeah,
Or maybe she was just like
really slow.
doing these rubber trees and, it comes up and wraps around your leg or something.
Oh.
And you're like, oh, shit. And it just gets worse.
What a horrifying creature.
Yeah.
Always carry a machete.
Yeah, buddy system and a machete.
You figure if you start hacking on it, like, you'll probably fuck off at some point. Be like, nah, I'm good.
Or wear like a really spiky jacket.
This
Like a porcupine.
is my snake armor.
AJ, I think we're back to you again.
All right, let's see what we got here. I really liked my first two stories. Let's see what we got left. All right. Man pretends to be dead for 321 days and gets acting role on CSI.
Ooh, I need to do this.
Yeah. A man who posted a TikTok video every day for 321 days pretending to be dead got what he wanted after landing a dream role as a dead body on CSI Vegas. It turns out that with hard work, dedication, and several hundred videos of yourself lying on the ground pretending to be dead, you can make it onto a major TV show and have your shot at fame. At least that's how Kentucky man Josh Nally managed it, as day after day he posted videos to his TikTok account, Living Dead Josh, of him pretending to be dead in hopes that a show would cast him as a corpse in one of their episodes. After 321 painstaking days of pretending to be dead, he got his wish as CSI Vegas got in touch after noticing the viral star and offered him the chance to play a dead body in one of their episodes. Josh Nally posted videos of himself. Oh, such a repeat. Speaking to the Courier Journal, he explained that he had no acting experience, but over time has learned how to more convincingly portray a corpse thanks to plenty of practice. He said, "I don't like speaking on camera, but I can lie there and act like I'm dead pretty easily. Having done more than 300 of these posts, I have progressed and gotten better. At first, you could see me breathing, or the fake blood looked really bad. I've gotten rid of using the blood and gotten better at holding my breath." Josh figured out the key to a convincing corpse shot was that there has to be some movement in the video, so it didn't look like a photo. So while he was still as the grave, his surroundings were active and mobile. He says he got the idea after seeing a woman posting about hot sauce on TikTok and getting a bunch of offers from retailers, which had him wondering if he could do basically the same thing about playing a dead body on TV. After almost a year of pretending to be dead, Josh finally landed his role on CSI Vegas. It wasn't all plain sailing during this time on set, however. He revealed that he accidentally blew one take by having his phone left on, and naturally a telemarketer decided to ring him at precisely the worst time. While he has no plans to quit his day job on managing a restaurant, Josh has received a number of other offers to play a dead body for other productions, so maybe his shot at stardom is only just beginning. Meanwhile, he still posts video of himself pretending to be dead for his fans to enjoy, if that's the correct term. Who knows what else he'll appear in as a dead body.
CSI, the necrophilia files.
We gotta start practicing for that. Wonder what's he gonna do.
It'd also be funny if like he's playing a dead body and they're like, nobody's gonna miss this piece of shit. He was a total pedophile.
This bastard pedo.
As you can see, they cut his dick off and shoved it in his mouth.
That is a thing. They might want you to be like naked or something.
Yeah, they do that on those shows.
I saw a picture of him. They don't want him naked.
Was he naked in the picture?
We should start doing this, like, try to get like other like bit nonsense parts by doing this kind of shit.
Well, who do you want to be?
Yeah, who are like bit characters in shows that nobody cares about? Maybe like a bailiff or something.
Yeah.
Order in the course.
I just saw this clip on, I think it was Twitter, and I saw it on TikTok, where there was like a court show, and I think it was that one with I don't know if her name is Judge Christina, or it was one of those female judges, and her bailiff is like this big buff guy.
Oh, I know this.
And this guy, like during the trial, he's having this civil case with his ex-wife, I guess. And he looks at the bailiff, and the judge points out that he's been married for 26 years or something, and he's happy. And the defendant looks at the bailiff. He goes, "He's not happy. He doesn't look happy at all." And then, like right after that, it cuts to the bailiff had killed his wife.
What?
Because he was on steroids and he raged out, I guess.
Oh my god.
And the judge, like, they show her in the clip. She's like, "He's very happy. He's great."
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, straight cut to the murder.
yeah.
That is I've never heard that story. That is
He was
crazy.
a big guy, though.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
he's big. Yeah. I can see the steroids doing a number on him, though. He looked like he was taking them consistently.
Do you guys know that like Judge Judy was made like an insane amount of money? Like
Yeah.
Like what? She's like 400 million or something.
I don't know what she was making per year, but I know it was like she was the highest paid woman on television, and it was like an insane amount.
It's like, we're going to put you in a fake court and you just be a nasty bitch to everybody. Like, this is money.
At least the money went to an old person who needs it.
We missed our calling. We should all have been TV judges.
It's not too late. Like, I think that people just have to sign a waiver. So if you'd like us to try your court case.
Yeah, I don't think those are real judges. I think we could do it.
How do you think they find those judges though? Do you think they like go to like sit in on trials and they're like, "God damn, this judge is entertaining. We're gonna offer him a deal."
You got something. You got a certain je ne sais quoi.
Yeah. This guy has some country wisdom. It's like Dr. Phil. What was the original one? The old bald guy?
Dr. Phil?
No. The judge.
Wabner?
It might have been Whopper.
Oh.
I don't know.
Yeah.
He was definitely one of the early ones, though. I don't know if I ever saw Wabner. I don't know what he looked
Yeah,
like.
I don't even remember that. I've heard of the name.
Anyway.
Those shows, I feel like, I don't know if they still like show them, but it seemed like they were like popular at one time. Like there was Judge Judy, Judge Joe Brown, Judge Christina, or whatever.
It was like the only thing to watch, like in the middle of the day.
Yeah.
There was that, and there was like
Jerry
Maury.
Springer.
Yeah.
Jerry Springer got so ridiculous.
And Maury was...
Oh yeah, Maury. Man, in college I watched a lot of Maury. The problem with Maury is once you're not the father, you are once the paternity test shows like took off, that's all he did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, give me a little variety, Maury.
More chicks with dicks.
Yeah, he had those shows too.
Don't worry, you'll get to watch the Miss Universe
Yeah, Miss
pageant.
Universe. I'm waiting. Bated breath.
One of the tricks, like on those, like
Maybe we should watch Miss Universe drunk and like see who has the hots for the dude.
I'll get high.
it's like the one hot chip challenge. Oh man,
No whammy. This is too much like real life.
Do you got another story in the old manifesto for us?
Oh, did you guys hear they made this new chip that can like
Taste like vaginas.
No, not a chip, like a microchip.
Oh.
They can transmit like all the traffic on the internet in one day. It's like petabytes. It's something crazy. Like this chip can transmit all that data in 1 second. Like the whole internet traffic. It's insane.
I mean, what is this going to lead to? Just like really fast internet, or?
Well, I mean, I assume it doesn't. It's not talking about like processing, but just sending. But like, you could send like all the video on the internet like through fiber optics in like a second.
Does that mean I can upload to YouTube and it won't be a really aggravating process?
Maybe, but you will need a direct fiber optic connection.
Damn.
But yeah, some trick with lasers and sending thousands of frequencies over one piece of fiber optic cable. But I don't know. It sounded impressive.
Man, anything that'll speed up, especially uploading to YouTube or surfing the web, I'm all for it.
I just want to be like the Matrix. I want to be able to download information to my brain.
Probably like at some point we're going to be where like the speeds are so negligible and there's so much data and so much power that it won't even matter. It'll all be instantaneous.
Man,
Well, other than sending something to the other side of the world, because you still have relativity, I guess. But
can you imagine, like, wouldn't it be cool if, like, they really could, like, make The Matrix or, like, Star Trek holodeck? Like, can you imagine, like, making, like, a video game out of, like, a total, like, environment you can, like...
the metaverse.
The metaverse, yeah.
They should,
That's a great environment to harass people.
you should make a Matrix movie based in the metaverse.
Like, people are getting like, they're trying to make cases on there because like they're being molested and stuff on the meta.
Yeah. I saw somebody joke. He's like, I got teabagged in Call of Duty.
Yeah.
It'd probably be a more fun space if you could just molest people. You'd probably get a few more users. But yeah, it sounds like it's just like a poorly developed piece of garbage.
Yeah, it is.
And then, yeah, no one wants to be there.
Yeah,
Plus, they're trying to develop like $1,700 headsets to access it and stuff. You're like, what the fuck is this?
I actually think I saw a headline that, like, Meta, like, lost... like a huge amount of money and is expected to like lose a bunch again. But I mean, they might have this thing where eventually they think it'll pay off. But
I mean, what are they spending the money on? It looks like shit.
I don't even know what the metaverse even looks like. I mean,
Looks like a
I haven't done
cartoon.
any VR stuff.
Yeah, it's like Nintendo 64 graphics.
Yeah.
And like people have avatars, but it's like just the top of their body. They don't have legs.
Yeah.
It's weird. And almost no one's using it. Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure one day like VR will be cool and they'll do some cool things with it, but it's gonna be a while, I think.
Yeah.
Well, do you guys want to go out on a game of Guess the Etymology?
Yeah, let's do it.
Oh.
Don't make me read again. That's the only thing. I get too high to read.
People are going to love this episode. Okay, first one on the docket. Take the piss.
Okay.
It's just having like a row at somebody.
Okay, now where does that expression come from?
Taking a piss. Well, back in the old days when people would get drunk, whoever got too drunk and fell down, they'd piss on them.
All right, so origin. Back in the day when clothes were dyed with natural... or first, the meaning means mock someone or something. The origin. Back in the day when clothes were dyed with natural dye, stale urine was used as a mordant, which stops the natural dye from leaching out of the cloth. The textile industry needed all the urine it could get, so workers would go around and collect specially designated chamber pots full of urine for people's houses. It was probably the least desirable job at the time, so people who did it would often lie about their profession. And so the question was born from those in doubt. Really? Are you taking the piss? That's actually a pretty good origin.
The piss boy.
Can you imagine like a door-to-door piss taker? Can I have your piss?
Bring out your piss.
This piss has shit in it.
Can't do one without the other. It's a package deal. Take it or leave it.
Next, wolf in sheep's clothing.
I mean, the etymology.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I've known hunters that would wear, like, animal skins and stuff to get close to animals while hunting, so it could just be like a poacher.
Like, yeah, I could see that.
My brain went a whole different route.
Okay, what's yours?
I was thinking of like a harem of women and like a dude dressing up pretending to be a woman to get into the harem.
I want to see this movie.
That was a thing, wasn't it?
I feel like people probably did that like back in the day.
I think there's some, like, I don't know if it's a folk tale or like some lore. There is some story with that.
Well, let's see what we got here. So the meaning, a person or thing that appears friendly or harmless but is really hostile. The origin, the warning that you can't necessarily trust someone who appears kind and friendly on the outside is centuries old, dating back to the Bible. In the English language, the King James Version of the Bible from 1611 has this passage in Matthew 7:15. Beware of false prophets which come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravening wolves. So I guess it's just a biblical thing. But where did they get it?
Yeah.
Where did they get it? Next, pulling someone's leg.
I mean, that just makes me think of jerking somebody out.
I'm teasing you.
I'm just messing around.
So the meaning, deceive someone, playfully tease someone. Origin, while there is no evidence to back up these claims, there are two popular theories for the origins of this playful expression, neither of them particularly playful. The first relates to thieves in medieval times who apparently pulled on the legs of their victims to trip them and swiftly make off with their booty. The second theory comes from the Tyburn, the principal place of execution in ye olde England. It refers to the so-called hangers-on who tugged at the legs of people being hanged to give them a mercifully swift death. Neither of these theories are really plausible, however, so the search for the true origin continues. Well, that doesn't help us. Why did they put this one on the list?
It's our responsibility to find out now.
Yeah, our quest to find it. The next, let your hair down.
Rapunzel? I don't know. Like,
Decent guess.
You got one?
I mean, I think of literally letting your hair down.
Meaning, behave uninhibitedly. Origin, it was an important rule between Parisian nobles to wear elaborate hairdos while in public, and some of the looks required hours of long work. Clearly, a moment of taking your hair down after a long day became associated with a relaxing ritual. So, yeah. Next, to sell someone down the river.
oh, that comes from slavery, I think. Like, where they would sell, like, a family member, like, just to the next farm down the river or something.
Okay, let's see.
Well, they float him down the river, right? where apparently, like, the further south you go, the worse it was.
The meaning, betray someone, especially so as to benefit oneself. Origin, the idiom comes from the 19th century in the southern states of America. During this period, it was already illegal to import slaves, so there would be internal trades where people would ship slaves down the Mississippi River and sell them at the market. For this reason, selling someone down the river symbolizes betraying someone and using them for your own good. So yeah, exactly right. Next, read the Riot Act.
I'm looking at your phone, so it's a real act, I guess.
Well, let's see. Maybe that's just to throw you off. Meaning, give someone a strong warning that they must improve their behavior. Origin, in 18th century England, the Riot Act was a legal document that was read aloud in front of a crowd bigger than 12 people that were considered a threat to the peace. A public official would read a small part of the act and order people to leave peacefully within an hour. Anyone that remained after 1 hour was subject to arrest and removal by force. The next, rule of thumb.
Oh, that's from beating your wife. You can't hit her with anything thicker than a thumb.
The Sean Connery law.
I think it's in the Bible.
Meaning a broadly accurate guide or principle based on experience or practice rather than theory. Origin. It is believed that the rule of thumb comes from 17th century England, where Judge Sir Francis Buller ruled that husbands can beat their wives with a stick if it is no wider than his thumb. Why did you know that? You're like, I still subscribe to this rule. Next, paint the town red. This is going to be like some bloody, like...
Yeah.
I know it's just like go out and have a party, have fun, but
Right.
Maybe it has to do with like Passover. I don't know.
Well, there were those things where like like people would literally paint like their
their
door red or something.
So the meaning, go out and enjoy oneself flamboyantly. Origin, there are two versions of how this idiom came to use. First, it is believed that back in 1837, a famous mischief maker known as the Marquis of Waterford had a wild night out with his group of friends, during which they knocked over flower pots, pulled knockers off of doors, and even broke windows. One of their biggest acts of vandalism was painting the doors of several homes with red paint. The other version of the story says that the origin of the idiom might have originated from the brothels of the American West, where they referred to drunk men behaving as if the whole town was a red light district. So it sounds like this is another one where they don't know for sure. Oh, this one could be good. Beat around the bush. Or is this another violence against women?
Beat around the bush. I don't know. I mean, maybe
You can't even think of this one without thinking dirty thoughts.
maybe burning bush, like biblical, but I can't figure out how
Well,
that.
it's supposed to be kind of like just kind of drawing things out, right?
Right.
Maybe it's like, I don't know, you pretend like you're doing something.
Well, let's see.
Who is the saint who allegedly drove all the snakes from Ireland?
No, St. Patrick, right?
St. Patrick.
I guess. The meaning, discuss the matter without coming to the point. Origin, beating around the bush is actually an action performed while hunting, driving birds and other animals out into the open. After this was done, others would then catch the animals.
Good luck catching a bird coming out of a bush.
I think you catch it with a shotgun.
Oh.
But how did that translate into this being, the meaning of that phrase? It doesn't seem like
Yeah.
discuss a matter without coming to a point. Okay. But it seems like
Maybe you're just trying to draw something out of somebody.
Yeah.
oh, okay. Next, break the ice.
Guessing it comes from the north.
I think it probably has to do with fishing, like break the ice to get into like fishing water.
Maybe it was like an old fashioned, like people making ice for their drinks, and they're like, "We'll break the ice and have a drink together."
You're going to have to break the ice if you want that warm, tasty tuna.
Meaning, do or say something to relieve tension or get conversation going in a strained situation or when strangers meet. Origin, in the old days, commercial ships would often get stuck in frozen rivers during winter time, so smaller ships called icebreakers would come to clear the path to shore by breaking the ice. In the 17th century, people began to use the phrase to mean to reduce tension in a social situation. And I think this is the final one for the day. More than you can shake a stick at.
You can shake a stick. I don't know. I have no clue.
Not enough stick to shake.
I was going to say, this is going to be some other rule about beating your wife.
That's a huge bitch.
Yeah, she's definitely more than you can shake a stick at.
I need a bigger thumb.
Meaning a large amount or quantity of something. Origin. This idiom was born when farmers who wave sticks to herd sheep would have more sheep than they can control.
I would shake a stick at her, but I need to buy a full tank of gas just to get to the other side. It's like an Al Bundy.
I think the rule of thumb and the take the piss were the best ones out of this bunch. Just being like a door-to-door piss taker. I mean,
How do you lie about that? Oh no, I'm not. This isn't my job. I'm just taking this because I want to.
also like did he have like some containers he was putting all the piss into? Then I assume.
Yeah, I think they have like a big bucket or something. Can't take all those chamber pots with you.
He's just giving people like a new chamber pot in return.
They're losing money on the whole deal. Like, we're giving out too many chamber pots, man.
You have to pay a deposit on your chamber pot.
I'd be like, you better be paying me money for my valuable piss. Also, the fact that it was the piss that like kept the dye in the clothing, so like you were wearing like these piss soaked shirts and shit, essentially.
Well, no, they used to tan hides with piss, and like I heard this story from somebody, and it's like secondhand, but they knew somebody who'd gotten one of these like vintage jackets, and apparently he'd been tanned with piss, and like he's riding his motorcycle around, it started to rain, and just like this smell of piss just started coming out of the coat.
Nice.
It's like that's not something you want.
Well, guys, should we wrap this bad boy up?
Wrap it up.
Well, guys, I don't know if this was our best show, but it was certainly a show. But we do thank everybody who followed along, listening, or watching. If you would, make sure to subscribe to us both on the YouTube channel and on your podcast service of choice, and you can listen to the audio feed. Give us, the thumbs up, positive reviews, lots of comments. They're always appreciated.
Let us know what to do with our lives, because we're struggling.
Yeah.
We'll do whatever you want us to do.
And then why not come over to the brand new Elon Musk owned Twitter and follow us there. Guys, where can people find you on the Twitter?
At a name for this too, and that's the number 2.
N-word, something.
God.
At Twitter. At unsolicited SUG.
Okay. And you can, of course,
Probably no N-words.
And you can, of course, find me at Zach Jones Live. That's ZachJonesLive. And that is going to do it for all of our shenanigans and poppycock this week. Please, please, please tune in again next week. Bye, guys.
Take care.
Have a good one.